Metal monthly releases coming at you today. Metal monthly, tell your new metal releases to stay away. Cause it's new metal only, no new metal. It's metal monthly, bangers monthly look at what's coming out in metal releases. As always, I am Blayne Smith, joining you on this little journey. Thanks for coming out. If you're new here, the way this show works is I, Blayne Smith, pick my 5 choices for the best underground releases coming out every single month. But we want to give a spotlight to a bunch of records. We do want to check in with a release calendar, give you an update on some things coming out. So before we get to that, as always, off the top, here are some bigger, newer, noteworthy releases coming out. Some of these we might review. If a record isn't here, it doesn't mean we're not going to review it. Who knows? You know, there's a lot of records that come out every month. This is, of course, April 2023 Metal Monthly. So let's look at big releases coming out April 2023. Starting with April 7th, you've got Powerwolf releasing Interludium on Napalm, and Tribulation the Greats are releasing Hamaradia EP on Century Media. April 14th, we've got a bit of a theme on April 14th. LA Guns are releasing Black Diamonds on Frontiers. Metallica is releasing 72 Seasons on Blackened. And Overkill is releasing Scorched on Nuclear Blast. Old Guys Around the World celebrate. April 21st, we've got, I can't believe I enjoy this record, but Angus McSix releasing Angus McSix and the Sword of Power on Napalm. We've got releasing Jethro Tull, Rock Flute on Inside Out. Predatory Void is releasing 7 Keys to the Discomfort of Being on Century Media. And banger resident Sarah, second album coming out, Smolder, is releasing Violent Creed of Vengeance on Cruz del Sur Music. Then April 28th, we've got another banger pal in Enforced releasing War Remains on Century Media, and Ross the Boss is releasing Legacy of Blood, Steel, and Fire on AFM. So that's it for that release calendar. Now let's just get into the records I'm really excited to talk about, and I'm excited for this month. It's a little different than your average Metal Monthly because I don't know if you noticed, but 2023 has been a terrible year for heavy metal. Not heavy metal as in the overarching genre, heavy metal as in heavy metal, the specific genre of heavy metal music. We've had great Black Death, thrash, all kinds of releases, but man, I can normally count on every month at least one awesome heavy metal coming out, if not a dozen. Not 2023. Apparently all the heavy metal bands were asleep until April, and now they've all woken up at the same time. So get ready for a heavy metal heavy episode. This episode gets kicked off by some Swedish heavy metal, and I don't get to listen to a lot of demos because I listen to a little bit of every single metal album that comes out every single month. And I do it live on Twitch. You can check it out at twitch.tv/metalcomedy, Sundays 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I research this show live with you. It's a blast. Come on by. So as a result, I don't listen to a lot of demos, but every once in a while, the universe manages to sneak a demo onto my desk, and that's what happened with Century, and boy, howdy was I excited about it, because it had that perfect sound where you had to think, is this a new demo, or is this like a lost 80s gem that's getting a re-release? It is a new band, and it's sort of like a farm-to-table band because it's only got 2 members in Stefan Tengner and Leo Ekstrom. And Stefan does guitars, vocals, bass, art, and mixing for the band, and Leo does drums, guitar, and bass. So this is 2 guys taking care of every single corner of every single thing they're doing, and it's the perfect sound to go with that. It's got that warm, organic, just welcome feel that sort of sounds like the way a great old book smells. And I just couldn't be happier that we're finally getting a release, so I can finally talk about it on this show. You might have caught me wearing a Century shirt a couple of times that I had to greasily message them for because they were sold out of them. So yeah, just really a fantastic throwback but fresh sounding heavy metal band that I think you'll love. And hey, Stefan, congratulations, he just started playing live in Vampire, which is an opportunity for me to also mention that I love Vampire. Yay, Vampire. And Vampire Also segues very well into our next band. Because did someone say black and thrash? This is German, not Swedish though, but you know, whatever, close enough. This is Lucifuge, Monoliths of Wrath on Dying Victims Productions, coming out April 28th. And kicking things off on this Lucifuge album is we've got some great cover art by Karmazid. If the name sounds familiar, it's because I talk about Karmazid a lot on this show, because there's a lot of my favorite art is done by Karmazid, including this. The great piece over here. Ooh, isn't that gorgeous? So you know, if you like Karmazid art, go grab a print or something. So I first heard the band Lucifuge in 2021 with their release Infernal Power, which is when the band went from a one-man project, as a lot of black and thrash bands are, by Equinox, to a full band. Since then, the band's coalesced, congealed, formed together, and managed to put out a really fantastic record. Of course, you're getting black and thrash, so you know a little bit what to expect, and the black and thrash that you're expecting is fantastic. But what you don't expect is the actually pretty wide range of tempos on this album. They are willing to slow it down, add a little atmosphere, add a little bit of mood, break things up, and kind of give you that sense of bearing that you can kind of lose on a lot of black and thrash records, where as you're getting to track 6, 7, 8, everything's starting to blend together and you're like, wait, was that track 7? Track 8? But yeah, the differences throughout the record really help songs stand out, songs sound different, and give it a full album feel. But don't get me wrong, I'm mentioning that they slow down sometimes, but the record is overall very fast. You're not going to get bored. You know how easily I get bored, so if I'm on board, you're not bored. I promised you heavy metal, so here is more heavy metal. Bloodstar first sighting on Shadow Kingdoms Records, April 21st. This heavy metal is joining us from Salt Lake City. This cover painting is being presented to us by Ryan T. Hancock, and it's given us the 3 things in life we crave: space, castles, and a wizard. This is the first offering from Visigoth guitarist Jameson Palmer's side project with some pals. So that's some pretty high pedigree, and I'm sure some of you have heard Visigoth guitar player and you're already going and buying a copy, and I support that. But for those of you that need more information, who gives a crap about pedigree when you've got vocals that sound like this? Holy hell. First-time vocalist, it seems, Madeline Smith, sounds so good. Oh my God, it's like Christian Mistress covering High Spirits. It's fantastic. Really, just, you know, giving me the heavy metal I've been craving all year. And there is a track where she doesn't sing, and Jameson Palmer is the lead vocalist, and she does backing vocals. It's called The Observer, and it has a cool Don't Fear the Reaper kind of vibe to the whole track, which gives you even more of a mix-up. And then, yeah, just a really great record with fast-paced drumming, great clip, no stupid slow-down, boring songs, fast hand-figured wizardry abound, everything you'd expect, and more. So, yeah, finally, 2023 heavy metal showing up, and showing up hard. You guys should have communicated with one another and spread these releases out. You're supposed to be a community. So here we've got a bit of a left turn. It's Nekus's Sepulchral Divinations on Sentient Ruïn Laboratories, April 7th. Have a listen. Been a chill month, so I'm making up for all of that in one band with this German blackened death metal act. Anyways, the album cover proves to you that you don't need a lot of money to create a nice album cover. You just need, I don't know, a grainy picture of a cave and some colors. This record answers the question, what happens if we take war metal and toss it into the weird blender that is Sentient Ruïn? You get war and death doom. That's war as in war-END, like blackened death doom, or what? Anyways, there are definitely war metal passages here that have all the kind of cacophony and chaos you expect about that, but they're nestled into 6 to 11 minute songs, and war metal can't go on for that long. So what's happening in these 6 to 11 minute songs? Well, in between the passages of war, there's these slow, excruciating, uncomfortable death doom passages that, despite being wide and open, give you this feeling of claustrophobia, like you're trapped in a cave where something bad has happened, something bad is happening, and bad things will continue to happen. It's unsettling and weird, and I love it. So yeah, like I said, it's a lot. I know, but it's been a softer month, so for all of those that aren't in the heavy metal, this is my gift to you to tide you over until next month, where I go back to just jamming death and black metal down your face, because that's apparently all I do. Thus, we come to our palate cleanse of the month. And how do you cleanse your palate of heavy metal with heavy metal? Well, you can't, and you don't. So we're stepping outside of heavy metal and metal altogether for this month's palate cleanse. It's Poison Rune's Harvest, coming out on Relapse Records April 14th. Yeah, this month I'm just tossing a post-punk record in here. They're from Philly, although listening to them you'd swear they're from the UK because they're trying to sound like they're from the UK. I'm not mad about it though, because that's the sound I like too, and if I was making this band, that's what I'd try and do as well. And speaking of making this band, since making this band, they've had a cohesive, clear idea of what they want the entire presentation to be. From the sound of the music, the merch, the album covers, it's all been this big cohesive picture, and they nail it every time, and they are continuing to nail it. This band sort of offers for post-punk what Century does for heavy metal, in that it's creating a record that's this fantastic lo-fi experience that sort of gives you the, hey, is this a lost 80s gem vibe to it? But there's still an intention and a craft and an attempt to advance the genre, where they're not just kind of resting on the past and just regurgitating stuff that's been here before. The way they're doing that is by creating a very cohesive album experience that also has great individual songs. Normally, you get either the album experience and you can't really pluck at one part without losing something, or you get those great tracks, but you can kind of rearrange them into whatever order you want and still enjoy yourself. This is an album. There's a beginning, middle, and end. There's such a beginning, and middle, and end that there is an intro, an interlude, and an outro, and they're not a complete waste of your time. They actually add something to the proceedings for once. Ooh, boy. And I feel like this record gets its spot in the metal monthly show, the metal show, because there's a bleakness to the sound that does feel very metal, and I'm a metalhead and I love it, so I hope you'll love it too. And if you don't love it, ooh, I got some bad news for you, because this band is going to be everywhere soon, and you're going to have to hear a lot of it. So might as well get on board now, otherwise you're screwed. That's the end of the show. That's been Metal Monthly, another one in the can. What did you think? Were you happy and excited about all the heavy metal? Have you been waiting for heavy metal to show up this year? Did I not list enough craziness? Is there a crazy record coming out you're excited about? Are you okay with me stepping outside of metal as a specific genre every once in a while and getting some metal adjacent stuff? Let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear from you, and thanks for joining us.